Welcome back to Cash, Coffee and Economics. In our previous video, we talked briefly about call options. And in this video, we are going to talk about put options. Put options when it is best to use put options and இதுலயும் ஒரு ஆப்ஷன் செல்லருக்கும் ஒரு ஆப்ஷன் ஹோல்டருக்கும் டிஃபரன்ஸ் என்னங்கிறத பார்க்கலாம். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒரு ஆப்ஷன் as we discussed is a right but not an obligation. ஸோ நம்ம ப்ரீவியஸ் வீடியோவில் we said call option na if you want you can buy the share at a certain price but it's not an obligation. Ador opposite danga put option. You have a right to sell those shares but it's not an obligation. So அப்படின்னா என்னன்னு கொஞ்சம் டீப்பரா ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிளோட பார்ப்போம். இப்போ லெட்ஸ் சே உங்களோட போர்ட்ஃபோலியோவில் ஒரே ஒரு ஸ்டாக்ல மட்டும் நிறைய காசு போட்டிருக்கீங்க. லெட்ஸ் டேக் தி எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஆஃப் HDFC பேங்க். இன்னைக்கு வந்துட்டு 1700 rupeesக்கு ட்ரேட் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கு. லெட்ஸ் நீங்கள் ஒரு 1000 ஷேர்ஸ் வச்சிருக்கீங்க which is almost like 17 lakhs and that is the biggest stock in your portfolio. So நாளைக்கு by chance ஒரு குவார்ட்டரோட ரிசல்ட் பேடாக வந்து if the HDFC bank crashes, a big part of your portfolio is gone. So அதுக்கு நீங்கள் ஒரு இன்சூரன்ஸ் மாதிரி you can buy a put option. So in this case you will buy a put option for 1700 which means that நாளைக்கு ஒரு வேளை HDFC bank 1700லேருந்து 1000 rupees ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா you can still sell those HDFC shares that you have at the same price of 1700. So இது kind of an insurance மாதிரிங்க. So அது 1700 ஆகாம 1800 ஆயிடுச்சு, right? In that case நீங்கள் எதுவுமே பண்ண வேணாம். It was your right to sell, you don't have an obligation to sell. அந்த right to sell நீங்கள் ஒரு premium pay பண்ணி அந்த put option purchase பண்ணியிருப்பீங்க. So just like call option, put optionலையும் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு option seller ஒருத்தங்க இருப்பாங்க, option buyer ஒருத்தங்க இருப்பாங்க. If you want to protect your portfolio, you usually buy a put option. And when you buy a put option, உங்களுக்கு அது யாரோ செல் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க. They are the option seller. Just like call options, put option only the buyer of the option or the holder of the contract has the right but has no obligation. The seller of the option has an obligation, which means that நாளைக்கு HDFC bank 1700லேருந்து 1000 crash ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா you can sell it to him at 1700 rupees and he has to buy it from you. He or she cannot say no. And all of this is kind of taken care by your trading platform, so you don't have to worry about all of that. So when you exercise your option, the system will ensure that whoever sold the option to you is going to pay the difference of price and buy the shares from you. So என்ன மாதிரி scenarios வந்து put options most useful னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, number one, it always acts as an insurance. So உங்கள்ட்ட large amount of money ஒரு single stockல இருக்குன்னா, then you buy put option for a small price and use it as an insurance to protect your shares, right? அது வந்து number one. Number two வந்துட்டு, if you think the market is going to crash, right? Every day Sensex in the thousands of points here. Eventually, if you think the market is going to crash or a particular stock is going to crash, then you would buy a put option. Because once you buy a put option, when the shares crash, when the market crashes, the value of the put option goes really up. In the second option, தான் இன்னைக்கு நிறைய traders use பண்ற ஒரு strategy. They buy a put option, they hope for Nifty to fall, they hope for Bank Nifty to fall, then their option values would go up and then they would make money on it. So just a quick recap. Call options you have the right to buy, put option you have the right to sell. So நீங்க ஒரு portfolio build பண்ணும்போது it is always good to include a mix of call options and put options in your portfolio. As I've told you before, I usually sell options. I don't buy options. It's a very rare thing that I buy options. We will talk about why and the difference between buying and selling options in a separate video. But for now, these are some of the put options that I just opened during the month of February. One is the IRCTC for 700 rupees. IRCTC has always been hovering over the 800 price range. So I thought it wouldn't fall below 700 rupees. So I have sold this option. So now going back to our example, since I have sold the option, I have the obligation. So naalike by end of February if IRCTC falls below 700, let's say it becomes 650, I will be obligated to buy 875 shares of IRCTC at the price of 700. Similarly, I also sold Tata Chemicals for again the month of February for 860. Tata Chemicals has been around 950 to 1000 rupees range, so I was hoping it wouldn't fall below the price of 860. And again, if it stays above the price of 860, nothing happens, I keep the premium. But if the Tata Chemicals were to fall below the price of 860, let's say it becomes 800 or it becomes 700 or even 600, then I am obligated to buy, as you see, 550 shares of Tata Chemicals at the price of 860. At the 859 I have to buy. Even if it becomes 1 or 2 rupees, I have to buy. So that's the obligation I have for selling this put option. Now in the next video, we will talk about what are the various factors that go into an option pricing and why the value of an option goes up or down during a given time period. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.